Hello, I'm Cam. Today I'm gonna to talk about a very special place in our country, which is Chian Kai-Shek Memorial Hall. What makes this place so special? First, it's very beautiful. The site here you can see is pretty beautiful. If you have time and you come to Taipei, you must visit this place. The second point is the architecture. The architecture here is very unusual, very unique in our country. If you come to the Chian Kai-Shek Memorial Hall, you will find that this place is pretty Chinese style, very different from any other buildings you can see on the street. And there's a reason for that. The reason is about our leading role, Chian Kai-Shek. Who is Chian Kai-Shek? Chian Kai-Shek is the former president of this country, and he was actually a very controversial person. And so I think that's the main reason why I chose this place to introduce, because I want to talk about some stories about this place. And if you want to know or want to understand this country correctly, you need to know this person and the history of his government. So here we are on the stairs of this way to the main building. Okay, you can see it's very long. So bear this in your mind before you come this memorial hall. So we finally arrived. Here is the statue hall, and you can see the statue there. Okay, this statue is Chian Kai-Shek, our former president, and the words are, there is moral, democracy, and science. And the ceiling, is also fantastic. The mark on the top is the mark of the KMT, which you can also find on our flag. If you have time, you can go to the first floor. Here is a museum. And of course, the museum here, their description of Chian Kai-Shek is much more positive, which their portrait of the president is a little bit like hero tale, it's very heroism. So, but I think it's still very important for everyone to know the history of different sites. So, if you have time, I will still encourage you to visit the museum in Chian Kai-Shek Memorial Hall. So right now we are entering the part of the Memorial Hall, and we just finished our journey in the museum. And now we can ask some questions. What's the problem? What's the problem behind this building? What's the problem behind Chian Kai-Shek, this person, and history? Well, it's a little bit complicated, but I will try hard to explain it clearly today. In the Cold War times, town was the outpost of free world in Far East, and meanwhile, owning the China representatives in United Nations. Chiang was the savior leading the people in Taiwan to fight against communists. So basically, these were the description of Chiang and our country in the textbooks 40 years ago, and it also gave the reason for the construction of Memorial Hall at that time. However, there were a lot of problems behind this kind of heroism description. So before World War II, Taiwan had been ruled by Japan for 50 years. Even though China won the war and got the island back to his arms, the colony experience had made Taiwan so different from China. When government sent army to recover the island, misunderstanding between mainlanders and local people erupted into a bloody clash in 1947, which was very famous February 28th incident. According to the research of historian, Chian was the one who finally agreed the use of force in the incident. In October 1949, Communist Party in China constructed New China in Beijing, and 2 months later, Jiang and some of the followers fled to Taiwan, still claim to represent the real China. If you search the official name of Taiwan on the net, you will know what I am talking about. Besides responsibility for the bloody suppression, Jiang was also a dictator in Taiwan for over 20 years and killed or jailed many people for excluding the communists from the island, or sometimes for the sake of his power. Of course, I must state here again, there are many different perspectives of history. In any way, Jiang did serve Taiwan from the threat of communist China. However, with the democratization of Taiwan, it is also the truth that the role of Chiang Kai-Shek is getting more and more controversial in today's society. It's a little bit complicated, but you will never understand the politics in Taiwan until know the stories behind this building. This is the guiding of Chiang Kai-Shek Memorial Hall, a very special place in our country. If you want to know more stories about our country, I will strongly encourage you to visit this place and try to figure out your own views of the history. I'm Ken. Glad to be your guide today.